Hello and good morning. Welcome to the Recovery Report Live. I'm here back again. My name is Matt Sengsourinh, Senior Vice President of GlobalPro, your insurance coverage expert before, during, and after any loss or damage. I'm filling in again this week for our host, Daniel B. Odess. We have another great show today, but I want to talk about a couple different things before we get into the meat of today's show. First and foremost, we just passed our 11 and a half year anniversary. We have, in that 11 and a half years, successfully represented over 1,400 community associations, hundreds of business owners, thousands of homeowners and private clients, and we've already successfully recovered well over $1.1 billion in that time period. So I wanted to note that here. We do talk about it all the time, but again, it's we're continuing to work hard and going after and pursuing our mission. We are disrupting the insurance industry and protecting and defending our policyholders. Again, we're going to jump into the show today, and it is with a heavy heart, and the discussion is going to surround a heavy topic. But I wanted to dive into the devastating events that have unfortunately unfolded in Lahaina and Maui over in Hawaii. First and foremost, our hearts go out to everyone affected by the tragic wildfires, and I think people have unfortunately forgotten that there was also a hurricane going on at the same time, which made things obviously worse. The death toll is in the hundreds at this point. It's very, very sad, very, very tragic. And right now we're looking at damage somewhere in the amount of $3.2 billion, $3.3 billion. It's very, very upsetting, obviously. It's very, very sad and devastating. What I want to do today is discuss the impact, kind of the insurance challenges that are faced, and what steps can be taken to begin the recovery process, which is very, very important at this point. Again, wanted to take a moment to acknowledge the heart-wrenching devastation. Everyone affected over there is going through an incredible amount of stress right now. Our prayers and thoughts are with you during this incredibly challenging time, and we stand united. I think one of the things about Hawaii, that I've always known and kind of understood was that they feel that sometimes that they're on an island by themselves, and they are part of the United States of America, and we do stand with you. Okay, recovering from such a tragedy, right, takes time. It's very daunting. It's very taxing physically, financially, mentally. We are, as a team, right, closely monitoring this situation as a catastrophic event. And I have some stats here, and it looks like it might be, unfortunately, the deadliest and also one of the most destructive wildfires or catastrophic events in modern U.S. history as of today. It potentially has surpassed the 2018 Camp Fire in California. And while I don't like to say those stats, I want to describe and make sure that you guys understand the gravity of the situation and what's going on. While we're monitoring all this, I want to make sure that everybody knows also we're committed, as always, to helping the community and providing assistance wherever possible. It is somewhat of a complex and difficult task to help folks all the way on the other side of the country, all the way out there in the Pacific, obviously, but we're trying to figure out what we can do in the meantime, and we'll get back to everybody, so stay tuned, please, for how we might be able to help all the way here from Miami, all the way over there. The cyclical nature of these catastrophic events is unfortunate, right? And we're considering and trying to figure out ways to help in the short term, but I want to talk today about considering and contemplating and discussing the long-term recovery process. From an insurance standpoint, it's reasonable to expect that most insurance policies should provide a full indemnification, right? They should return everybody to pre-loss conditions, given the clear cause or causes of loss, right? The obvious and clear or evident resulting damage. It should be easy, and most reasonable when thinking about this. Unfortunately, right, our experience tells us otherwise. Most insurers won't immediately offer coverage, won't immediately offer payment, and I have a couple of headlines here. I'm going to get through some of these articles here. They'll continue to delay the process for whatever reason, right? So I want to talk about first the insurer's reaction, which has been typical, unfortunately. It's very disheartening, but the PR machine has kicked into high gear for the carriers, and I want to get through some of these headlines here that I find pretty again, discouraging and disheartening, but this is how it goes, unfortunately, right? So one of the first headlines that I'd come by today was, Hawaii fires, rebuilding Maui and taking and the time it'll take for insurance claims to process. It's a direct quote, or the headline is actually a paraphrase, but it's a quote that's in the article from III. III claims that insurers are in the middle of assessing damages. It's been weeks, and they're still assessing damages for a wildfire that pretty much destroyed everything in its path, which, again, was exacerbated by the fact that there was 70 to 80 mile per hour winds, not gusts, 70 to 80 mile per hour winds going on just prior to it, during it, and dying down a little bit after. There was a hurricane off the southern coast that made everything worse. The destruction, the totality of the destruction and devastation is very clear, right? To if you get through some of these articles, you're going to notice a similar quote, which is the carriers are assessing the damage. They're investigating, the loss and damage. I mean, if you look at pictures, if you look at video, we are not, unfortunately, haven't been able to get on the ground there, obviously, but it looks pretty devastating. And again, inexperience from being in Hurricane Michael, Irma, recently Hurricane Ian, Nicole came just after that. I mean, it is absolutely devastating right after the storm, especially the first 2 to 3 weeks. I can't imagine what it's like out there on an island. Another article, the headline is the Washington Post article. Again, something that we talk about it, we discuss it. It happens every time, of course, but this article is titled, "What We Know About the Causes of the Maui Fires." Right? Asserting the cause of loss in a situation like this can have tremendous negative effects. It is an attention-grabbing headline, but sometimes these headlines and then the information inside of the articles can and do provide enough information for insurers to delay their coverage determinations and payments. Just think about back to the first article I mentioned here from III. And again, for those that don't know, III is the Insurance Information Institute, right? The wrong description or assumption of a cause of loss by someone who is not there, has no expertise, has no business, right? No experience, no business in determining such things, can cause exclusion or limitations to automatically be considered, can raise coverage defenses, right? The damage I mentioned before, it's very clear and obvious. I think everyone can agree how bad things are, how devastating this situation was. All policies, whether it's residential or commercial, right, they have exclusions, they have limitations, and often we find that articles like these provide enough fodder, enough bad information, that can be construed or used in a manner to trigger, potentially these exclusions or limitations. For example, I'm starting to see a lot of articles right now where they start talking, and mention often, right? This is a town, a part of Hawaii, which most of Hawaii is, right? It's really built off the back of tourism, right? And so you have two situations here. You have the actual homes that are there. Some of the homeowners might not be there. Maybe it's their second home, right? And you have talk about that some of these homes were unoccupied. Well, if you know insurance policies, you'd understand that there's typically clauses, right, that excludes or limit coverage for, unoccupied property, right, or vacant property. Two distinct differences there. But you don't know, if you're just writing an article, right, if those homes were rented out, you don't know if someone was there a week prior or within the last 30 days or 60 days. You have no idea. But to insinuate that the homes were vacant just because someone was there at the time, again, seems innocent, seems like something little, but no reason to do that, right? And furthermore, the second part is let's move on past just the homes and whether there's vacationers there or Airbnbs or short-term rentals or whatever. Let's talk about the actual hospitality industry, the hotels, the restaurants, all that. There's a lot of social media posts going on out there. I see them all over the place where, even I, in the beginning, I understood what it was saying, the post, which is don't go to Maui, right? But don't go to Maui, again, the businesses around the area, the businesses that rely on tourism, the hospitals, the hotels, the restaurants, the bars, the fishing charters, right? They might not all have suffered damage or loss, or maybe they're open enough or ready enough after the last couple of weeks to be operable, right? And to tell people not to go there is doing a disservice to everybody around there. They need to continue their business too, and oftentimes there's not going to be coverage for loss of market, right? So these are things that unfortunately come out of articles like this, right? I found one. Here's one of my favorites. Maui wildfire disaster likely cost State Farm hundreds of millions. Likely cost State Farm hundreds of millions. So again, let me get this straight, right? State Farm opens up their business. They accept hundreds of millions of dollars in premium for however many years to insure loss and damage just like this. Then the event comes, a catastrophic event comes. Hundreds of people have lost their lives. Thousands have lost their loved ones, their homes, their memories, everything. They paid their premiums, right? And we're supposed to be worried about the insurer at this point. The insurer starts to wind up the PR machine. They start to get out there and say, oh, we're going to go insolvent. We're going to, it's going to cost us. I love the word cost. It doesn't really cost, right? This is the business that you're in. So maybe rewording this a little bit better or talking about this in a different light would be much better. But it is, again, discouraging and disheartening to see multiple articles where they're talking about the cost to insurers. I mean, this is what your business is supposed to assist with, right? You're supposed to indemnify your policyholders. I mean, this is what you're supposed to do. So, again, it doesn't make any sense to me. Regrettably, like I mentioned before, it follows a typical pattern, and we've seen it for similar events. Policyholders, again, they have an expectation that their insurance companies are going to promptly step in, they're going to promptly provide coverage and pay for the coverage. But often, we find that the insurers fall very short of this. There's tons of bureaucracy, tons of red tape. All of this will drag down and delay insurance claims. This causes frustration. Again, it's discouraging, disheartening. And in this instance, again, this is clear causes of loss, right? There's obvious and clear loss and damage here, right? It's to represent the situation for carriers as they're still evaluating or assessing or establishing the amount of loss and damage is unbelievable to me. But that's how it goes, unfortunately, right? They're going to engage in lengthy investigations. They're going to delay. They're going to raise disputes for no reason, right? And ultimately, who struggles here? The policyholder, right? Because they have to rebuild their lives. So just to give you a little perspective, we talk about the cyclicality of these catastrophic events often with our clients, especially right after a big event like this one. And typically you have kind of 3 or 4 stages, right? The first month to 3 months, we'll call it first quarter if you want. There's tons of media coverage, wrong, right, or indifferent, good or bad, right? Donations come, there's a lot of activity, there's a groundswell of support, and this momentum is built in that early 1, 2, 3 month time period, where things hopefully start to go in the right direction and a recovery, cadence or base has been established and it moves forward, right? And then unfortunately what happens is after the media cycle moves on, so month 3 or 4, all the way to month 6, the energy momentum fades, unfortunately. The media definitely is on to the next whatever, catastrophic event or whatever they want to talk about at that point. They've deserted this, forgot about it, moved on. The support, the donations, the groundswell, the focus of the recovery here for this catastrophic event goes with it, unfortunately, right? And when that happens, months 6 through 9, with no focus on what's going on, no follow-up on the situation and the recovery process, right? Insurers at this point have either provided coverage or in many instances are still investigating, right? And this is where the lingering effects of the events, the catastrophic event, right? The loss, the damage, the latent effects of it, stuff that you didn't know was going to happen later or any consequential losses and things like that, they start to mount. They really affect the not only the affected area, right, but the surrounding areas. I mentioned before, social media is already going crazy, reposting things, sending things out, telling people, don't go to Maui, don't go to Maui. Well, again, we don't want to make a situation worse. If there are parts of the island, parts of the area that can still operate and can still, take on hospitality, right? Make sure that people are vacationing, make sure people are going. They should have the right and should be allowed to continue. It is a bad situation, but making it worse makes no sense, right? It just literally makes no sense. So in months 6 through 9, when all that energy and momentum has affected the support system, the donations, it's very, very tough, from that moment forward. I think what's also getting lost here, though, in the shuffle, in those 2 or 3 segments I just mentioned before, is in the first year, you also expect the federal government to step in. I mean, the first couple of weeks here, the federal government has in my opinion, has been absent. I mean, we really don't know what's going on at the end of the day, and you can hear it on the ground, you can see it in the reports, actually, right, and in the articles that have been coming out the past couple of days, more importantly. So, our opinion always is that, there's a way to get the recovery process started and a way to follow through and carry it through to the end. So I'm going to get into some of those steps here, but I want everyone to think about the timeline I just mentioned, the cyclicality of these events. And while in the short term, it is important to take care as much as you can, to take care of those affected in the area and to try to help out in any way that you can. Even the smallest way is helpful. Remember, 6, 7, 8, 9 months, 10 months down the road, that's when everybody's really going to need it even more so. So we gotta keep growing the energy or the momentum, keep the energy up, and keep trying to help as much as we can. So with that being said, how to get the recovery process started and what steps should be taken. It's crucial to address the steps that can be initiated in the recovery process right away, and then what needs to happen also later, right? And especially from an insurance claim perspective. We talk about the 3 Ds of damage. Document, describe, defend, right? So first and foremost, again, although the loss and damage is very, very clear and obvious, is the right way to describe it, you still need to document it as much as you can. Take photos, videos, take some notes, write down what you see, write down what you've lost, take an inventory of some of your personal property. If you're a homeowner, you have a residential policy, and no one's going to know that stuff like you, right? And you don't want to worry about it later. You're closest to the pre-loss condition today, so now is the best time to kind of clear your thoughts if you can. Obviously, take a second, regroup, and try to get some of this stuff documented. Okay, you want to contact your insurance company promptly. That's the language in the policy, right? And that's kind of the next step. Get your thoughts together, get your notes together, get your documentation together, get everything prepared. Begin the claims process. The first notice of loss, it's called the FNOL, the first notice of loss, is very, very important. Don't speak too much. Give them the exact information as to the loss and damage. Your goal, your intent of your contract policy for as the insured is to prove your damage. So tell them, there's a fire, I've lost everything, I've made an inventory of all our personal property, my home is gone, my car is gone, things like that. Very concise, but very specific and direct. Again, as long as you have the documentation and the backup for it, it should be easy, right? It should be easy. That's the expectation you should have of your insurer. Stay persistent and follow up regularly. That's the name of the game. Just keep the process moving. And I don't want to discount the fact that the timing of all this is very, very difficult. I know, I understand, I know. And unfortunately, that's, you have to get through this early process to get to a place where the third part of this recovery process is goes into effect, which is defend your rights to receive a full indemnification. Defend your rights to receive compensation from your insurance or your insurance policy, your insurer, for your loss or damage. Right? Stay informed about your rights and coverage. Familiar yourself with your policy and its terms, and you'll know some of these the language and the words that you need to use. When calling with the first notice of loss, when documenting the loss and damage, right? Insurance policies are very intricate, okay? But understanding your coverage really does empower you and helps you through the claims process. Moreover, right now probably is a great time to consider seeking professional assistance. Right? Representation is most important when something like this happens. I think I saw some stats that there are about 2,700 properties or 2,700 dwellings or structures that were insured that have been damaged. It's a lot of claims for that area, but that's just for the property. There's all these other claims, comprehensive, right? Look at the total value or the total loss and damage, and then help you present it properly to your insurer. Right? Licensed experts are experienced in dealing with claims. They can give you all the guidance that you need and then advocate for you on top of that and help you navigate the complexities of this entire process. Finally, I want everyone to remember again, you're not alone, right? There's many others in your community. This is a terrible time, devastating time. You're all facing similar challenges. try to be friendlier with your neighbors. Try to get to know people around you. They can also give you some info and insight on things that are going on with them, how they're approaching the situation. You can be supportive of each other. Maybe even create a group that can help. There's of course local organizations that can help as well. They can provide everything from emotional support to financial support, or even just get you connected even further, right? Helping you grow a network of individuals, your neighbors, your fellow business owners and things like that, who, again, can share experiences and advice. It's always better to do it together. And again, we are all in this together. And I want to reiterate our solidarity with all of you that are affected by the tragic wildfires and the hurricane in Lahaina and Maui and all over Hawaii, right? Again, the road to recovery will be undoubtedly challenging, right? Stay informed, be persistent, work to stay united, and I think this will culminate. Working together will culminate towards rebuilding what was lost, right? So again, our thoughts are with you. We'll be back with more insights in the coming episodes. I mentioned before, in the short term, we really want to figure out ways to help, and we'll have more info on how we can come together as a community here in Miami and in Florida to do just that. But ultimately, the short term is one part to help impact what's going on over there and help the recovery process. In 6 or 7 months, 8 months, it's going to be vital to still be there and to still be able to help out. And so we're trying to figure out both sides of that. Okay, our hearts are with you again. We're really sorry that this devastating event has occurred, but the road to recovery has started, and we wish you all the luck, and we're going to be there to help out. Okay. So switching gears a little bit, it wouldn't be an episode with me unless I started talking about some of the other things here at GlobalPro that we also like to talk about. Again, sneaker drops are coming up. There's a ton of sneaker drops to prep for. Today, I don't know if you can see. Let me see if I can get my sneaker on the camera. But I got them on today. The GlobalPro Dusk Blue Air Max 1 Safari prints. I mean, if you don't have these, you're not going to get them. Trust me. I mean, I'm pretty sure if you don't have them, it's going to be very, very hard for you to find these. So, but good luck. Take a look. I think of note, I think the next couple of Nike Sportswear drops are pretty cool. There's a women's Air Force One Low. It's a navy colorway with white, really, really clean. I think you should take a look out for that. I think that's coming out today. There's also another Air Max 1, which is a weird colorway. It's a brown that they call Oreo wood, and there's also hints of bronze. I have no clue, but I don't really like it. So good luck if you're trying to get those. On August 19th, I think one of the most anticipated, just in maybe the last month or so, but it dropped about 4 or 5 weeks ago that the Terra Squad Air Force Ones are redropping. They're launching those. There's 2 different colorways. They're okay. I mean, if you like that just for memorabilia's sake and for collection's sake, probably something to look out for and to go and try and cop. Typically, and although we are checks over stripes here at GlobalPro, there is an interesting and fun drop coming up that I don't want you guys to miss. Tomorrow, Friday, August 18th, the Stan Smiths are dropping. The Homer Simpson Stan Smiths are dropping. And if you look at the shoe and you understand why it's called the Homer Simpson Stan Smiths, then you know that these are the shoes for you. I love Stan Smiths. I usually buy them every summer, all the way back to when I was 12. So I think it was the first summer I didn't do that. But typically I always have a pair somewhere, and those and the Rod Lavers. So I do buy things other than Nikes and Jordans, just for everybody's information. Speaking of 3 stripes, I don't know if you've also noticed this, but the Yeezy Vault was opened about 3 or 4 months ago, and they are rapid fire. I mean, they are trying to get out all of the stock that Adidas has held back, obviously, because of the situation. But I mean, it's almost daily at this point. Today alone, we have the Hyperspace Yeezy 350s. I think the Duck Boots are dropping today, the 950 Duck Boots in Pirate Black. There's a Foam Runner. The Quantum drops again today, the High Res Orange. I mean, everything they had locked up is being just dropped onto the market. But I think most importantly, the OG 700 Wave Runner also drops today. That's probably something I'm going to try and get my hands on. I don't have a pair of those, but you don't want to miss that, of course, as well. And if you've been following along this far, you noticed I haven't said a word about Jordan Brand. Pretty boring, nothing much coming out in the coming weeks, but September and October are different stories. So you're going to have to stay tuned. I'm going to have all the upcoming Jordan releases. And just as a sneak peek, October's even better. So we haven't even gotten through September, and you should be looking forward to October. All right? So again, our hearts and thoughts and prayers are with everybody affected by the wildfires in Maui and Lahaina and Hawaii, and the hurricane. There's also another hurricane in the Pacific. I think there's actually 2 right now. One might even affect LA. Take care, be careful. Just again, be persistent, stay united, keep working towards recovery. We're going to help as much as we can over the next 2 to 3 quarters, as I mentioned before. We are all together. We are all with you. Just in closing here. Okay, so thank you very much from all of us here at GlobalPro. We appreciate you spending some time with us every Thursday at 11 a.m. If you, your association, or your business suffers loss or damage, you know what to do. Always call us first. Okay, don't forget to subscribe, follow, please like our posts and videos, and join us next week right here at the Nucleus Studio GlobalPro. Same time, same GlobalPro channel, 11 a.m. next Thursday. Take care and see you soon. Thank you.